Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Edgecombe County where a man is facing charges after police say that he stole a car and fled from law enforcement. 28-year-old Raekwon Alston was arrested by Edgecombe County deputies. On Monday morning, deputies were called to a report of a stolen truck on Leggett Road. That afternoon, deputies found a truck traveling down Highway 97 into Nash County on Church Street. Deputies say they tried to make contact with the driver of the truck, later identified as Alston, after stopping at a gas station. Now, Alston ran from the truck into the woods nearby, according to officials. Deputies quickly found and arrested him. Alston was charged with possession of a stolen motor vehicle and resisting a public officer. He was also served with a warrant for violating probation. Alston was taken to the Edgecombe County Detention Center under a $15,000 bond. And we also want to highlight an interesting call that police got. A Greenville woman is accused of shooting her gun in the air because she didn't know how to empty it. Happened on Saturday. Greenville police were called to a shot spotter alert on Sylvan Drive using a camera to track a suspect vehicle on Kennedy Circle. Now, police say Samantha Williams admitted to having a gun in her purse and fired it into the air because she did not know how to clear the weapon. She is facing pending charges, excuse me. Now, no injuries were reported in the shooting. And now we want to turn to, of course, the ongoing protests about the ICE-involved shooting that took the life of Renee Good in Minnesota. NBC's Maggie Vespa has more on the fallout.
And knocked her phone out of her hand.
This morning, amid ongoing anti-ICE protests in Minnesota, Democrats hit with subpoenas by the Justice Department, firing back. Governor Tim Walz blasting the baseless legal tactics, calling the DOJ's investigation into whether he impeded federal officers political theater. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey posting, "Every American should be concerned." This, as a source familiar with the plans, confirms Vice President J.D. Vance will visit the embattled city tomorrow for remarks and a roundtable discussion with leaders and community members. Today marks 2 weeks since an ICE officer fatally shot Renee Good, who the Trump administration has argued weaponized her vehicle. Tuesday, the president saying this about ICE.
Sometimes ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or, they're dealing with rough people. They're going to make a mistake. Sometimes it can happen. We feel terribly. I felt horribly when I was told that the young woman who was had the tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a horrible thing.
Though overall, President Trump defending the agency, touting 3,000 arrests in recent weeks of undocumented immigrants he says were convicted of violent crimes. In Minneapolis, ICE and Border Patrol leaders asked about officers detaining U.S. citizens.
I would say that those tactics are born of necessity.
This after a local police chief says ICE stopped an off-duty female officer of color.
They demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And
this video going viral of 57-year-old U.S. citizen Chong Lee Scott Tao being arrested at his St. Paul home Sunday, let out in shorts in freezing conditions. DHS saying they were looking for convicted sex offenders at the home, saying Tao matched the description. Tao's family says none live at that address, and an NBC News review found he has no criminal record.
And again, that was Maggie Vespa reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, and we have got a sunny outlook for today. Cloudy outlook coming up for tomorrow, and then things really start to turn as we head into the weekend. Friday, Saturday, but mostly Sunday are going to be problematic in terms of winter weather. Here is a look at what we've got outside. Before we get into the winter forecast, let's appreciate the good while it is here. 48 degrees right now, beautiful sunny skies overlooking the Neuse River. Southeasterly breeze in New Bern coming in at about 6 miles an hour. Not bad for a January day, especially considering what we've got coming up as we head into the upcoming weekend. Now, air temperatures currently reading in the mid 40s to upper 40s across most of eastern North Carolina. A few of us have already made it into the low 50s. We've got 50 degrees in Jacksonville, 51 in Beaufort, but winds out of the east to southeast trying to pick up speed. Again, winds right now essentially variable. We've got a southeasterly breeze in Rocky Mount, an east-northeasterly breeze in Kenansville, a northeasterly breeze in Beaufort, and right now just a straight north-northwesterly wind in Hatteras. So wind direction right now is kind of all over the place depending on where you're at, but everyone expected to get into the low 50s later on this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. But later on this afternoon, more so this evening, cloud cover is going to be rolling over eastern North Carolina skies. That is going to help bring about a warmer start to the day tomorrow. Overnight lows is going to be staying in the mid to upper 30s for tomorrow morning, and that will help us reach likely the low 60s by tomorrow afternoon. Now, tomorrow does come with a slight chance of maybe a few light showers out there. Models are continuing to suggest that we could certainly see some rain tomorrow. Right now, models have again just kind of popped up with this solution, so not putting a ton of emphasis on it, but I do think 20-30% chance of some light showers tomorrow will be in the cards. Reason for those showers is a cold front that's going to be settling around eastern North Carolina, if not just a little bit further south. Now, the area of concern, the low pressure system that's going to transform itself from just a coastal low you're seeing kind of off the coast of LA to something a little bit more substantial, will come later on this week. There you see that low pressure system in the Gulf of California. From there, moving over southern Arizona, and that's when it's going to start to make its trek eastward towards really the Carolinas. And that is going to create a lot of hazards because a lot of the cold air that high pressure system is bringing in, you see that over southern Illinois, that high pressure system again is going to help push cold air down over the southeastern United States. So we've got the moisture source with the low pressure system. We've got the cold air being really anchored in place by that high, and that is going to again bring about an opportunity for a messy weekend forecast. Right now, it is looking like we are going to be seeing more of a freezing rain event than a snow event, but there is certainly still time for this to change a bit. We have seen model fluctuations over the past 24 hours that have certainly made me thankful that we obviously haven't put out any sort of expected and anticipated snowfall totals, because at this point it's looking like snow is less and less likely and that freezing rain is going to be the big issue. Regardless, travel on roads is going to be rough over the weekend, particularly as we head into your Sunday afternoon to Sunday evening to Sunday night. That's when I think the roads are going to be at their worst. If not then certainly by Monday morning, as everything is going to freeze overnight Sunday night into Monday morning. Overnight lows in the mid-20s. Will make that happen. So slick spots will be present, especially on secondary roads that don't get treated by the NCDOT coming up early Monday morning. And then we see everything again stay near freezing Monday and Tuesday afternoon, but then dropping well below that. 11 degrees early Tuesday morning, 15 degrees early Wednesday morning. It is again going to be a cold week coming up next week, and anything that sticks on the ground, whether that is snow, sleet, or ice, will likely be present all the way through Wednesday morning until we get to Wednesday afternoon. That sunshine and air temperatures reaching the low 40s should really help melt away anything that sticks around beyond the weekend. Now, we do have some questions. Joshua Armstrong, so no snow accumulation for Pitt County. Joshua, right now it is still too early to make that call. If you were to ask me yesterday morning, are we going to see snow in Pitt County? I would say, yeah, anywhere between possibly 3 to 10 inches. But with the latest model runs suggesting we'll have some warmer air push into eastern North Carolina, we're really backing off that snowfall expectation and putting it more towards an ice expectation. Air temperatures again are going to be a key in this. And right now we're looking at very cold temps throughout the weekend. We will be a little bit above freezing though on Sunday as that moisture rolls in, and moisture that's close to the area of low pressure, that center of that low, tends to be a little bit warmer. Low pressure systems hang on to a little bit more heat this time of year than high pressure systems do. So when you get that moisture in, it does come with a little bit of warmth, and that can take what could have been a snowflake, turn it into a raindrop. But then if your ground temperatures are still at or below freezing, once that raindrop hits the ground, ice. So that right now is unfortunately what we're looking at more, or looking to be more likely as we head into Sunday and then Monday. I do think we will have some snowflakes come down across eastern North Carolina, but it's not right now looking like that is going to be the main threat. The main threat at this point is ice accumulations, and anything over half an inch can lead to widespread power outages. So we continue to track model data in terms of what air temperatures are going to be, what ground temperatures are going to be, how much moisture is in the atmosphere, and what is the actual track of that low pressure system that's going to bring in that moisture. If that low gets too close to us, it introduces more warmth and it turns pretty much everything into just rain, and then everything freezes as it moves out. If it moves a little bit further south, that introduces us to more of a snowfall risk that I know is certainly a lot more enjoyable than being told you're going to end up in just a big old ice box. But for right now, not anticipating, again, a widespread snow event. Right now, this is looking more like an ice event for the east, but that still could change. We could again see that low move a little bit further northward, and that would take the ice out of the equation if that low moves actually directly over eastern North Carolina. That would put too much warmth in the area, and we would likely again see just rain with anything that's left over by Sunday night as that whole system exits, then freezing on the road. So for now, it's still kind of a wait and see game, but we do want people to understand that our confidence continues to get higher as we head towards the weekend, that there will be impacts in eastern North Carolina, particularly to travel on the roads. That's where we're going to again see things deteriorate through Saturday, but more so Sunday evening into Sunday night. You do want to say you're very welcome, Darnette Gardner. She said thank you for the updates. You're absolutely welcome. That's what we are here for. Of course, if you have any questions about the forecast and what you can do to possibly prepare at this point, please feel free, throw them over in our Facebook comment section. We'll be going live again coming up at 1 p.m. with more news and weather. And whenever we are live, I keep a close eye on those comment sections to make sure that I am actually actively answering your guys' questions. That's why it's like you got a meteorologist in your pocket. But for now, that's all we have time for. Again, bring your questions coming up at 1, and we will see you then with more news and weather. Of course, Casey Manning. How many loaves of bread will I need? 2. Just 2. I don't know. Depends on how hungry you get and how many mouths you're feeding. But you know, 2 is usually what I go for. That way, if I get crazy hungry and my kids do as well, then at least we got a backup. But again, we will see you guys coming up at 1. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.